Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. I'm not psychic, don't claim to be, but I'm going to read your mind. And I'm sure you have said this at one point in your life. Maybe you're saying it recently. I know I am. I think I'm eating right. I'm exercising a fair amount. I'm not losing weight. Maybe I'm gaining a little bit. Doesn't make sense to me. I get it. Maybe I'm getting older and it's a little bit different now, but I don't understand it. The pieces aren't going together. We're going to look at that today and some of the reasons why you may not be achieving your health and weight loss goals. And she is somebody that helps people with that and an overall transformation, gives you inner peace, just a holistic look at coaching. And it's wonderful to have her today. Candy Holmes-Foster, Wellness, joins us on the program. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks, Steve. Glad to be back.
What'd you have for breakfast?
Nothing.
Was that intentional?
Yeah. I've never been a big breakfast person, but then I learned about fasting, and it works for me. So
that was going to be one of my questions. That was coming that way. Interesting when you talk about breakfast, because it's almost as if we've been, I don't want to say brainwashed, but programmed to hear breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Do not skip your breakfast. Make sure it's a good, hearty breakfast. And now I feel like if I don't have breakfast, I'm cheating myself. Is it really that important? Apparently not.
Well, I think it depends on the person, right? We're all different. We all have different compositions, different jobs, different activity levels, all the stuff. And that actually originated from some great, brilliant marketing person at Kellogg's.
Knew you were going to say that.
I hope he's got a lot of money.
Yeah. All of those marketing messages. I was thinking about them the other day. Random. I was in the bathroom. I don't know why it popped in my head. And Bill's Body's 12 Strong Ways. And I think that was bread. I'm Wonder Bread. That's what it was. Wonder Bread.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, really? Okay. And there's a great bit from George Carlin, the comedian. And I can't remember all the little pieces, but he talks about the BS marketing messages within food advertising. And one of them I'll never forget. You know, you hear this all the time. Chocolatey goodness. Chocolatey goodness. You know what that means? It means there's no chocolate in it. It's true. What is it? Goodness. What's chocolatey? What is that? What is
right? That? Yeah.
My friend told me about fasting, and I'm thinking about doing it. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can do it. I mean, you know, sometimes I get lethargic, I get tired. He goes, no. That includes your sleep. So let's say your last meal is at 6 p.m. dinner. You go 12 hours. Now it's 6 a.m., 7 a.m., whenever you wake up, right? So now you're already, 12, 13 hours in. You skip breakfast. Your first meal could potentially be 11 a.m., 12 p.m., and that's your fast. Is that
yep.
Is that what you do? What's going on?
Exactly it. Yep.
Wow.
Anything past that 12 hours gives you, our body really needs that 12-hour span between so that it can do its repair. You know, it's like when we go to bed, the janitor comes in, cleans the body, gets rid of damaged cells. We definitely need that 12-hour period. But you can gain ground with more. It's definitely an individual person. Someone who has diabetes may not be able to do that. You know, it depends on what we have for health things going on. So it's very individual.
What if you have stomach acid, reflux? And, I've been there, and I find that just something in your stomach will just kind of pad it for the moment. And if you're starting fasting, and I really want to try it because more and more I'm hearing those benefits, and just what you said, your body will start eating itself in a good way to get rid of the garbage. If you just had I mean, go with me on this. Like piece of lettuce, anything, just throw it down there as your breakfast and then move your day forward. And then eat maybe lunch. And that's your 12 plus 13, 14, whatever hours. Are you cheating yourself on the fasting thing?
There's two different frames of theory there. Some people say that anything over 20 calories will break your fast. Anything over 50 calories will break your fast. Essentially, it's more so like, is it going to raise your blood sugar levels? A lot of it's based on blood sugar. Is my blood sugar going up? Is it staying down? And again, it's individual.
Sure.
Our bodies are all different and we react differently to everything we put in our mouths. So,
I mean, I guess, if it's based on the calorie count, the blood sugar level, then, throwing a piece of lettuce down there just to pad what's going on there wouldn't be the worst thing. And I'm a firm believer and want your thoughts on this, that your body it's built on memory. So if you don't eat every day at a certain time, it's not going to want to have food. It's like, he doesn't want to eat then. We're going to get used to that. Or if you eat less, you start eating less at every meal, cliche, but maybe true, your stomach starts to shrink a little bit and you're really not craving it anymore. Same thing with sugar and salt. Cut it out. Don't do it anymore. All right, going to be a little rough in the beginning there, and then you don't want it anymore. Is that kind of how it works?
It really, it is kind of, it does. There is this thing that switching from our body will burn fat, it'll burn carbs. And it's like that switching between, the time that we spend without food will give us that time. Further we're in, the more it's going to burn fat. Once we add food, it's going to burn carbs. We have to burn both. But it's that switching, and once we get used to more of a fasting, you won't feel like you have to have it because your body's gotten better at that switching.
This whole fasting thing, how many hours for you?
I did 20 today.
Whoa. How often do you do that?
Which I don't do all the time.
Okay. All right. Is there a fasting you do on a regular basis, i.e. skipping breakfast?
Yeah. Easily. I mean, I easily can, I have to work at going 20 hours. And just to, I'll do that just to get back on track and stuff like that. But easily for me to go, eat by 7 and have something to eat for like a mid-morning snack, 10, 11. So okay. Like 14, 16 hours.
Is that a regular basis you do that?
It depends. I fall off track just like anybody else. So it depends if I'm following all my good habits and getting down in the office and not working in the kitchen. And
that's a great point. Back to the habit thing. I thought about this the other day. I have these things that just drop in my head. When I was younger, I got made fun of. I got bullied. I was the fat kid. Don't pick him for dodgeball. Never.
No way.
Oh yeah. And it wasn't until 12th grade where I got interested in media. I started doing videos and then honestly, essentially launched my career. It really did. And I got so into it that I would stay at school. They allowed me to stay there, editing videos for the school and public TV and all of that. And the weight just dropped off of me because
you eliminated all the bad habits.
Right. And I was focused on something else instead of going home, watching TV and eating. It was like an overnight thing. It was like, I didn't care. I got something I'm doing. This is fun. This is great. So getting out of your normal element, i.e. focusing on something else, I believe it can be very beneficial.
Yep.
All right.
It's a big thing.
Let's go to where we started originally. You're exercising. Maybe you're fasting. You think you're eating reasonably well. You're not losing weight. It's been a while. What's going on here? What do you think?
There's so many factors, that people say
Sure.
that it's calories in, calories out. There's so much more than that. It could be the toxins in your life, the chemicals in your home, in your food, in the air, all the stuff. Could be hormones. I mean, I'm 55. Us ladies hit 50 and everything just...
You look great, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you.
You really do. By the way, I'm older than you. Yeah. There's a lot. I know this. We're going broad here. There's a lot of factors in there. Yeah.
Yep. Stress is a huge factor in whether we're maintaining or retaining weight. It's like that's one of the big things that, it's like, how stressed have you been this week? Sleep is huge. If we're not getting sleep, it leads to, not getting that maintenance done at night, or being weak and tired during the day. So we're tired, we're looking for energy, we grab a snack, it just sends you down the hole.
And I'm going to tell you, last night I was at a meeting. It was late. I went to bed, wasn't sleeping that real well, woke up. I'm going to admit it, confession time, went to the refrigerator, carton of better chocolate milk, if there is one. Guzzle, guzzle, guzzle. Went back to sleep. Couldn't really sleep. Well, it's like 3:00. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm like, I just need something. Open the refrigerator. This is true. Guzzle chocolate milk again. Close the door. Is there a chemical that gets released in your body that is telling you to eat when you're tired?
That's a very good question. I don't know.
I thought there was. That. I thought that there's something that genetically a signal.
It makes sense. Totally makes sense because, it's like you think about it. When you're tired, I always say if I've had a long day and I've got a long ride home, it's dangerous territory for me to stop at Starbucks and grab this, that, the other thing, stop at Dunkin', stop wherever, because there's a drive-through on every corner. It's just bad, and you're weak when you're...
And then it was 2:00 this morning. I was weak. I don't know what it was. Yep. And then you get those moments of like, I don't really care anymore.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So what else could be going on there in broadly? I mean, age plays a big factor, hormones, men, women. In you not losing weight, should you start considering more exercise?
It depends on your situation. If you're on a drastically calorie reduced program, then you're not going to have the energy for excessive exercise. You want to have, light exercise is good no matter what. 20-minute walk after a meal helps lower blood sugar levels, does immense things for your health, whether you're worried about weight or not.
We all know our bodies. I'm not losing weight. I'll tell you right now. But I'm going to admit it. I know that I'm not, and I go to the gym almost every day. I know that I'm not pushing it like I need to. Not like I want to, like I know I need to. I need to spend, we all know what works for our bodies. I know I need to do cardio, treadmill, row, whatever it is, at least 30 to 40 minutes to see some results. And that even goes back to my 20s. Back when spring was coming and you're like, all right, you're a little chunky down there. All right, let me have a bowl of cereal for the whole day, 3 days in a row, go jogging. A week later, we're in a sweet spot again. Good, ready for the beach, ready to, go to the beach bars and having a great time. I know I need to do more cardio and I'm not doing it. I'm getting bored at that. But that's where I lose weight. I know what it is. I need to really push harder. I think we just maybe need to listen to our bodies too. Yeah,
that's a huge one. And that's one of the things that I teach is, when we do start a program, it's like, listen to your body. What's your body telling you? When you did step off and had this treat, how did you feel? Did you feel awful? That might be a sign, So
I slept horrible despite the chocolate milk. So, and I think that made it worse. I'm going to say a word here that's been on my radar, and I have a little bit of concern about this word. And I wonder your level of concern and also how it may relate to us losing weight. The word is parasites.
It's like my dad had a parasite years ago, and it just freaks me right the heck out. But that's a little, that's a little out of my realm on a daily basis, but it can, make us lose, make us gain, make us really, really sick.
Even talking broadly here, I'm hearing more and more that most of us have them.
Yeah. And there can be, more invasive ones than others.
Yes.
I know. I remember when my dad had that parasite, and he had a stroke recent after. And then when we were in the hospital, I was like to the doctor, "Did he tell you about the medication for the parasite?" And the doctor looked at me and said, "I'm from the Dominican. It's fine." And I was like, "Oh, great."
Wow.
So they don't worry about it at all down there, I guess.
All it takes is one bad piece of meat. And the meat could have been good. It just could have been.
Right.
The reason I bring it up is I'm seeing more and more stories about the disease connection to parasites and potentially cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And once you got one, and I know it's gross what we're talking about here.
It is, yeah, but it's reality, right?
Reality, and I bet you, I'm far from qualified to even say this, but I'm betting that if we all took tests, probably 80% of us would identify some type of parasite within our bodies. And what it could be doing, I don't know. But I'm hearing more and more of cancer connection. I don't know. I was just wondering what you're hearing.
There's so many different things, when we say parasites, toxins, chemicals, there's so many different things that can cause these things in our body. And it's overwhelming to the everyday person,
How would you start with somebody that is looking to lose weight? Maybe they've tried, it hasn't been happening. What would be some starting points for you to, I guess, get them on a program that would get them closer to dropping some pounds?
Cleaning, we talked about it last week about starting with clean food, getting rid of processed stuff, removing sugar. Sometimes gluten is an issue. Dairy can be very inflammatory and an issue. It's like there's so many different options. So it's like really starting at that clean base, removing all that inflammatory stuff so that you can have a clean slate, and then you start to add things back and see how your body's reacting. And it's amazing when you do that, how quickly you feel better. Even people who didn't really realize they felt bad, they just, they were just there to get some weight loss. Within 2 weeks, it's like the inflammation's gone.
Yeah, I'm hearing that more and more. Even completely cutting alcohol out. Even if you just go for a couple of drinks on a weekend, a beer, or whatever it might be, the difference you will feel in about 2 weeks is remarkable.
Yep. Yep. The heartburn, you said acid reflux. That's one of the things that goes away almost immediately.
Wow.
Yep.
When we talk about eating clean, how deep do we go? Like, for example, I get prepared meals, place around the corner. A lot of people go in there. It's popular. I don't know what's going into the meals. The ingredients are on them.
Right.
And all I'm going to say is I feel it's better than other things I could be eating. But I don't know. They're not organic. There's not, any,
Right.
I have no idea what's going in them. I just know, I think it's better if you're going for the clean eating, like really clean up.
It's that balancing act, right? It's like, is this sustainable for me full time? It's like we have to find that balance of, can I, am I never going to go out to eat again? Not very likely. Some people go out to eat a lot. So it's like, can you get something healthier when you go out? Or is the temptation too big? So it's figuring out how that works for each person, If I've got clients who are very, very social, and they're going out to eat, or they hate to cook. So that's a big deal. There are good companies where you can order pre-made food, and it's not necessarily hyper processed. There are restaurants where you can go and get real clean food. Even if you're going to the chain down the street, you can choose cleaner things. You can get a salad with some steak on it or some chicken. You can ask for things. Most restaurants are very good nowadays at, special orders, because there are so many sensitivities and allergies out there. So,
when it comes to chicken, red meats, what are your thoughts? You always hear this lately. You got to cut back on red meat. Bad, bad, bad. Don't overdo it. What are your thoughts?
Again, I think it's individual. Sometimes that goes down to, it's everybody's body feels different. I've had people who have had one African woman who was just like, I just crave meat. That's what her lineage was, right? So her lineage goes back to that red meat, and she thrives on it. Other people, like me, if I have too much red meat during the week, I'll be finding my weight gaining.
I find, and I've cut back a lot on that. Occasional hamburger. I'm not even, not even my thing anymore. But when I eat a steak, it weighs me down for at least a day.
Yeah.
I can feel it. I know it. And even as I'm slicing, I'm eating it. And there's a place, a little like pubby restaurant. Me and my friend have been going there since we were able to drive. And we usually meet once a week, and the prices are insanely cheap. And the food's, I think, okay. As I'm cutting into the steak, I know what I'm going to feel like in a day. I just know. I still do it because I want to enjoy it for the moment. But, sometimes you got to think about what's actually going on in there. And it takes a long time to digest a steak, right?
Yeah, it does. Definitely does.
Tell me how it works with you. Somebody reaches out to you. They've got goals. You listen to what they're looking to do, their lifestyle and all of that. Where does it go from there? You design a program?
We have a set program, and it's very much removing those inflammatory foods, but making sure they have plenty of the clean stuff, the lean proteins, leafy greens, more dense vegetables, fruits, lots of water, making sure we have lots of the stuff that we thrive on, removing those inflammatory stuff. And then we progress. And then that is when, it's like, ooh, this isn't working. That isn't working. I need, and we adjust it from there. And it just becomes from the initial point forward, we tweak it for each person to make it be exactly what they need and what their body likes, and then have them journaling and keeping track of what they're eating, so we can see, like, ooh, does this agree with me? This doesn't agree with me. That's a good thing to know. I never knew that because I just felt awful all the time, right?
That's a great point. Food journal. A lot of us don't realize that. And not to get too deep here, but what went in and what came out. Gotta be honest, because you might just think, it's just a little off. Yeah. There could be a direct, and probably is, correlation to what you ate a day or two before.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. What's the best way to find you, Candy?
My website, candyholmesfosterwellness.com. And right on that front page, you can schedule a free consultation so we can get to know each other, see if there's a good connection, and then go out from there.
Holmes, by the way, Holmes.
Yes.
Wonderful talking with you. You're just so chill. Like, it's just like, it's almost as if you're like you're controlling my mind into eating better, but you're not. but it almost feels that way because it's so relaxing. There's no pressure. That's where I'm going with that. I don't want to feel like pressured. You got to eat this, got to eat that. You're just like laid back, but you get it done. I really think that's like your superpower. It's like,
well, we're all human, as am I. So, I think that's what it is. It's like figuring out our human parts and our powerful parts and making it all work.
You've inspired me to fast, and I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to break a rule and skip breakfast and see how that goes. And we'll catch up next time. I really appreciate it.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
Same. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.